Hey everyone, and welcome to Season 10 of the Choose UCalgary Podcast. I'm Prithul, your host this season, a third-year student in the Haskell School of Business, and a new co-op student with the undergraduate recruitment team. If you're thinking about joining UCalgary, you're in the right place. Each episode will dive into student life at UCalgary, chat with current students, and explore everything from faculties to campus resources. It's all about giving you a real feel for the UCalgary experience. Let's get started! I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the peoples of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, and acknowledge that the city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. As someone who moved to Calgary from abroad, I've developed a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to live, study, and connect with new friends and colleagues on the lands of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda Nations. It's important to remember that everything we do here at the University of Calgary, including podcast recordings, starts with these lands. Please keep this in mind as you listen to this podcast. Joining me today are two guests from CAIELI, short for Center for Artificial Intelligence, Ethics, Literacy and Integrity, which is a transdisciplinary initiative between the Libraries and Cultural Resources and the Workland School of Education. We have with us Leeanne Morrow, the Associate University Librarian for Student Learning and Engagement, and Rica, a student at UCalgary who is working closely with CAIELI and the AI Research School on campus. Before we get started, could we get you guys to introduce yourself a bit more? Anything I might have missed that you'd like for our future students to hear?
Okay, cool. Hey, my name's Rica. I'm a student here on campus, and I actually study something called biological anthropology. Oops. We do things like primate stuff and then also bone stuff, so it's really cool and lets me explore different things. And then I also combine that with a minor in business, as well as a certificate in sustainability. So I just kind of like learning about different things. I guess I'm also part of a bunch of clubs here on campus. I'm one of the co-founders of a club called Women in Cybersecurity. And then I'm also part of a really cool club called the Student Organization for Aerospace Research, rocket stuff. And then I just like anything stuff. So I really like music. So I try to join clubs like that. So there's just a lot of things that you can do. And I like to do a lot of things too. So yeah, before I start just rambling, pass it on over to Leah.
So I'm Leeanne Morrow. I am a librarian on campus here, and I lead most of the library's initiatives around artificial intelligence, as well as leading other units within the library. I come in every day to the Taylor Family Digital Library, which, in my opinion, is an awesome location to study for students and is a real hub of a lot of activity. I have been here a very, very long time, and I love this campus. So, yeah, it's a great place to be.
It is a great place to be. Thank you for coming into the podcast. So, before we get started, tell us a bit about CAIELI. AI is very new, and even like having a center for its ethics is kind of something that's a very novel concept for a lot of us. So, how did it come to be, and what can you tell us about this center?
Sure. So it came to be because I noticed a lot of students were asking us questions like, what can I do with AI? How do I know how to use it appropriately? Where can I go if I need some assistance? And I realized it was such a new and, like you said, novel area that we needed to ensure that we had a place or student support on the campus, somewhere where they could go and ask questions. I mean, the library is always a great place to go and ask questions, but this center within the library, within our DUSET library, is a place where you can go and get assistance and ask tough questions and use the space to work on AI projects, that kind of thing that you'd like to share out or collaborate on. So the center came about because I saw a need that we needed to have a one resource where students could go. So that's why it's novel in the sense that it's very focused on the student. And I want to make sure that we have all the pieces there to help students succeed and to help learn and build their literacy skill set and underpin that with integrity throughout all of it.
That is so cool. A bunch of other questions. So, this is more so about CAIELI and how it fits into UCalgary. So, what inspired the creation of CAIELI, and how does it serve the UCalgary community?
So what inspired the creation was students. So on our campus, we have the slogan that says start something, right? And that is like a literal start something. So when I saw a need for students and to answer their questions, I was like, I'm going to start something here. So I went forth and I made something that I felt students needed and a place where they could go. But it also became a really good support on campus for everybody's learning around AI and literacy. building those skill sets. And when partnering with great faculty, like Dr. Sarush Sabadon and Dr. Sarah Eaton, we are able to offer fantastic programming out to all of campus and essentially everybody who'd like to attend, students, faculty, people at home. They're able to actually listen in on some of our workshops. They just have to go to our website and see what we're offering, and they can build their literacy skill set. Particularly, though, for AI literacy, a lot of the programming we offer and the underpinning has always got elements of integrity in there, which is incredibly important. But to be able to support everybody on campus with learning, there's also, out of the library and out of CAIELI, we support staff training on campus around AI literacy because everybody, in order to be successful, doesn't matter who you are. I mean, in my neighborhood, I have the seniors who are retired in my neighborhood who ask me, where do I go to learn more about AI? And I'm like, everybody wants to learn and everybody should. So everybody has that need. And you can be a senior citizen, you can be a young kid, you can be a world-renowned researcher. It's an entirely new area for everybody. So CAIELI has stepped in to say, we will help you learn and we will help train your staff and we'll do all those things to be that kind of central campus hub. And then on the student side, it's really focusing on making sure we have programming for students. Like this fall, we're going to have this fantastic student workshop series where it's all these different sessions on how do I do this with AI? What does that look like, right? And so it's going to be pretty exciting, and we really want to be that hub on campus that answer those really focused questions around, how do I learn more about AI literacy and the impact that AI has on the world and integrity.
All these initiatives you took with your office, this is kind of bringing me back to UCalgary's central theme of being one of Canada's entrepreneurial universities and how we start something before other people start something. I really like that sentence you had. So yeah, that's really cool. Our future students are in for a treat then, I guess.
Very, I will say to you, that's one of the most inspirational things about working at the University of Calgary is the fact that is encouraged. You are not told, no, don't do that. You are told, go forth, make something, do something entrepreneurial, try something out. Does everything work out perfect? No, but we build it as we go, and we learn from it and we grow from it and we try new things, and it's super cool. That's what's a great thing about this university.
That's one thing that I, as a student, really enjoy about this university, because I've seen there is a big trend of maybe universities not encouraging AI as much when it comes to students. But I go into a class and my professors tell me to use AI and then just cite it or something to that effect, where it's encouraged to still use it as long as there's just enough knowledge and just enough ethics involved. So yeah, I personally benefit from it as a student, and it's really nice to hear a staff's perspective on it, to see the thought process behind
Absolutely.
you creating something of the sort. So
Absolutely.
thank you for your work. Now I get to benefit from it. Somewhat in that note, and this is something you touched on a bit with this answer and one before. So what are some things future students can look forward to as it pertains to CAIELI? So could you walk us through some of the key initiatives or programs that CAIELI offers?
Yeah, so I think, like I was saying before, some of the workshop series that we have coming up, we'll always maintain certain offering around AI literacy so that everybody gets to the same place where they need to be. But then we're kind of moving into the competency piece for students because they say to me, okay, well, we've been told in the class we can use AI, and the instructor has said, please cite AI. I don't know how to cite AI. Okay, we will show you how to cite AI. So this is the how piece. What does this look like? If you're allowed to use it, you have permission, and it's moving into that kind of how piece, right? So that's kind of coming up for this next year, real focus on what does that look like. Other initiatives, we have new tools that come on board often. Now they're very focused on generative AI research assistance. So making sure that we choose tools that are founded in integrity, built with integrity, and are useful for a student to do research. So when a student says to me, can you just get us an institutional subscription to ChatGPT? I'm like, yeah, that's a bit of a harder hill to climb. That's likely not going to happen anytime soon. But what I can do is I can look at what are good generative AI research assistants that you can use, that we can help you have access to. So new tools that come on board. Often we've got one September 1st with the database that we currently offer called Scopus, which is very important to the STEM areas. Scopus is a very, very well-known tool, and it has a new AI feature coming, and that starts up in September 1st. for students and faculty to have access to. So that's pretty exciting. Other initiatives, we're constantly partnering with units on campus that are really into cool AI projects. I mean, our great partner we have right now is the AI Research School, which Rica is connected to. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's super amazing to see the students that are in that particular program and what they're able to do in projects that they're thinking of working on, and that connection to, companies downtown that are helping mentor students and other mentors on campus. Like initiatives like that we're able to work with and partner with is super great. And we're happy to do more of those. And we'll do more with the AI Research School as the year progresses. And it's been a good startup with us. Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, I'd ask like the opposite question of that to you. So as a student who's interacting with the space and is, I'd assume, benefiting from it, what are ways in which you think CAIELI has helped you in your research, things you've learned, anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, of course. Honestly, like I feel kind of bad that I've only found out about CAIELI quite recently. I feel like even just a few months ago, it would have helped me a lot to know how to properly cite AI and then how to kind of really explore AI and be more literate and capable of using it. I think for some of my classes so far, we've only done like AI disclosure, and even that piece was a bit difficult without like a given example. But yeah, like I think it's such an amazing place to kind of have a one-stop shop to find out everything and all of those questions that you may have. Because I think it can be daunting sometimes to maybe approach like who we would deem as an expert, somebody more technical, and just be like, hey, I have this silly question about AI, and then it's just daunting because you feel kind of intimidated because you're not that much of an expert, right? But I think that's why this is such a great opportunity, and it's such a great center to kind of learn together. Like we have experts, and then you also have people that are just trying to learn more, just because we should and we have to, and especially like with how education is going and even the industry is going, we have to learn together, and we gotta figure out how to use it to our best capabilities. So yeah, pretty cool.
Also, in that same vein, since we're discussing resources, we heard a bit about your experience and we heard a bit about all the cool things that CAIELI is doing that is beneficial for future students. What are other ways in which students would be able to get involved once they start their journey at UCalgary?
That's a good question. I think right now, because we're only, we're barely 1 year into CAIELI, so keep in mind this is very new. So we're kind of evolving, and I think a great way. I mean, we do have a student advisory council that is set up through CAIELI, and it is a student-led advisory council. So it is chaired by two the third year now med students out of Cummings School of Medicine. So they chair the student advisory council, and that council. Right now, I believe all the positions are full, but, we'll kind of do a year and then see how it goes. And that those students will be helping plan events, and they'll be working through kind of some of the things that they would like to see happen on campus for other students. So I think just watching the CAIELI website to see what's up and coming, to get involved and to investigate. And I always say to students, if you have an idea, and you're like, man, I would love to see this happen on campus, and I would love to this AI related idea, you can always reach out to me. My email's right on the website, and you just reach out and say, hey, Leeanne, can I do this? Could we do this? And I will work with you to make all your AI dreams come true. Because that's what CAIELI is there for, is to make sure that the students are like, this is what we want. This is what we're going to do. We want to be super responsive to what students need. So it's kind of an evolution right now. So as new students get here, it's about getting involved and checking the site and going, okay, where are the opportunities here, and just waiting for them. They will be there. And then seeing what other ideas you have, and just sharing out. You don't ask or you don't get unless you ask. So just ask. I just had a student group email me yesterday saying we want to do this hackathon thing that they're working on. And I'm happy to work with any student group or ideas that you might have to, make some of these projects come to light. So it's about just reaching out and thinking big about what ideas you might have.
That we discussed AI literacy quite a bit. Now I want to get into the ethical side of it a bit more, because that's something that's very new to me as well. I don't fully maybe comprehend all that it encompasses quite as much yet. So before we get into the deeper questions, what's one word you'd use to describe AI ethics?
One word. I would say that's a tough one, but I would say personal responsibility. So that's 2 words, but the reality is that companies are out there building AI tools, and it is your personal responsibility to use the tools with integrity and ethically. So you have to be personally responsible for your use of it, and also personally responsible for the output that you use in your projects, right? So knowing that we don't turn everything over to AI, just copy and paste over and use whatever. We genuinely use AI with a lens to integrity and ensuring that I'm using it the right way. I'm investigating who made the tool, where did the data come from, how did the data get in there? Is it going to take my data and store it and use it to train its other models and make money off of my content, that kind of thing. Those are the questions when it comes to integrity and ethics that we have to be taught. One of the areas, I mean, it's a huge area within AI that around ethics that, I mean, I'm not an expert in it, but I'm more in the integrity side, the academic integrity piece of it. But it is definitely an area that we have experts on campus that really explore that. And it's an area of growth, but I truly believe that personal responsibility is very, very important.
Yeah. I guess to play into personal responsibility, I think I'm just going to go with like mindfulness. We do have to just be mindful about how we use it. And then, yeah, being mindful of some of those like resources and links, like we can't fully trust anything that comes out of AI, but like specifically like generative AI like results. You have to check those sources, you have to check those links, you'd still have to check that information. So it's just being mindful about how you use it and then how you plan to also use that information that you may produce out of it too. So
Yeah, very complex stuff. It is quite complex, but as you guys kind of touched on, AI is increasingly becoming a very big part of our daily life. Yeah. So, with CAIELI, how does it help future students navigate the ethical considerations of using AI technologies?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple ways. So through its educational component, the workshops that we offer will touch on, particularly the generative AI piece and the integrity side of it. So the workshops, that learning piece, so you understand where the line is and how I have to approach these tools. I think also understanding that Haley has a connection to experts on campus in this area. So bringing in experts and saying, let's have these outside the classroom learning around, generative AI and integrity and ethics. And so we have that connection to the faculty, but we also have the connection to international researchers in these areas. So, so again, that learning component and that focus on how to build that understanding is so critical. So we will be that connective piece for students to learning, really.
yeah, there's so much to learn. And again, I think this is such an amazing space to have all of that in one spot. You don't have to kind of go around and hunt for, I don't know, our local AI expert because likely they'll be there. Or they'll have a connection to our local AI expert if we have one. But yeah, there's just so much to learn, and there's just so many questions that pop up every day. I think every time I do interact with AI, I always get a new question that pops into my head about like, oh, how did you get a little bit better overnight? And it's getting better, and it's getting scary that it's getting better, but that's also something that's really beautiful about it. So there's just a lot to learn.
I would also add one more thing to that, and that is the peer-to-peer element that's slowly evolving in CAIELI, which is that, students learning from other students, I think is also a very important element that's happening in the center. And I think that that's very important, as I mentioned before, the Student Advisory Council, but also, we have certain students working on projects over the summer, and then we'll have some peer-to-peer help in the fall. So, that element of being able to ask another student, like, I'm not unsure about this. Is this something you think I should do? And then having students that work there that are trained to say, I'm not entirely sure. Let me check with, our Student Success Center, our integrity experts, those kinds of things. So I think that peer-to-peer element is also very important when it comes to the integrity side of things.
Ever wondered what your future at UCalgary could look like? On October 25th, we are opening our doors for Open House 2025. Meet current students, explore programs, and check out more than 40 faculties and services that are here to support your journey. From interactive discovery sessions to campus and residence tours, it's the best way to see what life at UCalgary is all about. Register today at ucalgary.ca/openhouse. Yeah, absolutely. And somewhat in that same vein, so what are some big real world ethical dilemmas that are kind of involving AI right now, and how can CAIELI kind of help future students understand those ethical concerns? Because I think with students, because they tend to be younger, it's sometimes a bit difficult to recognize something as an ethical dilemma. So, what are some resources in that vein?
I think when it comes to the issues of bias and equity and representation in AI, I mean those are all big worldwide problems, right? The thing we forget sometimes, particularly about generative AI, is that is built by people. There are people on the back end of it. I know we like to default to think everything's just machine, but it's actually people driving the machines. So we have to be mindful that we have to be aware of topics like bias and what to look for, that kind of thing. And I think CAIELI is positioned well to make sure that students understand those elements that they have to be looking for when they use a tool, particularly on the generative AI piece. Because I think sometimes we just look at it and go, this looks good. And it's like, no. And that critical thinking lens, that we have to ensure that everybody applies when they look at output from a generative AI tool, to know that like somebody put this in there, the data is in there, and they're training the machine to work a certain way. So there is elements of people behind that, and people always come with bias, no matter who you are. You do your best to kind of get rid of it, but it will be in there. So we really have to be mindful of ensuring students understand the elements of these bigger world issues and what to look for and how to find those things within AI output.
Yeah, definitely like something I think that even as students we tend to forget in like the rush of things, or like in just pure curiosity about the tools that we're using, is definitely that bias piece. Um, there is a lot of like the training that goes into AI models is done by people. And yeah, just to kind of echo what Leeanne had said, there's still that bias there. And sometimes those like little outputs, there's little kind of small details that you might miss that, could convey a lot of like negative bias sometimes too, and just kind of like negative things. So just, I think that's kind of the biggest challenge is, sometimes I think critical thinking can become difficult if, we start to trust a tool very, very much. And so just definitely being mindful about that. And
I think that's a good word though, trust, right? That's another word that's super important when it comes to, we have to be able to trust what the tools we use generate, and we have to be mindful of that, and we have to be critical of that. And that also speaks to a larger world issue, which is mis and disinformation, right? That's where trust gets broken, and things get spread that shouldn't be spread, that are not evidence based, that are not based in fact. And it is so important that we have the skill set. I will mention two things coming out from CAIELI in the fall. They should be ready. There's some micro credentials that students can take as well. So there's an AI literacy micro credential. There is a mis and disinformation micro credential that students can take. They can just choose optionally. Each micro credential is about 12 hours long, and they can work through it and learn a lot more about the topics of mis and disinformation and AI literacy. They're two separate ones, and then at the end you get a badge. And when you have the badge, you then can go to LinkedIn on your LinkedIn profile, and you can pop the badge up that says I am AI literate. I am literate in mis and disinformation as well, which is fabulous for when you're looking for jobs and things like that. We want to make sure we have students that have that background in that understanding these areas, because they're huge. And we want to ensure like that trustworthy piece, right? That's how we do it, is that we learn what to look for, and we learn where the pitfalls are, these big kind of world topics, right?
Okay, how do I get these badges? I want them now.
You want them, okay, in the fall. They're so close to being done. A lot of the content is just being loaded into a tool called Articulate, and the course is being developed. And I mean, it's 12 hours out of your week. It could be a week. It could take a whole semester. It's all, asynchronous, so you can do it at your own pace. But when you're done, you submit it all, and then, we have staff in CAIELI that look through it, make sure it looks good, and then you're awarded your badge. So then you have that. So it's really, really great opportunity to learn a little bit more on your own at your own pace, and in two big areas that are very, very critical.
I know what I'm doing in fall now.
Yeah, you'll be watching for it. I would check end of September. I'm hoping. The mis and disinformation one should be more closer to December, but the AI literacy one, definitely by the end of September, it will be ready to go.
Well, then I know what I'm doing for the next academic year. But but that was very insightful. I did not consider too much about the biases. I've heard things about, oh, Google Photos doesn't always recognize every face, and maybe that has something to do with like different demographics. But it's really insightful to know about all of those biases and how students should be mindful of it. The trust word, I was mind blown by that perspective. And so yeah, thank you for sharing those insights. I feel more educated now on this just talking to you. So I'm sure Kaylee, just if the representatives are have giving me this much information, I can only imagine what the center as a whole would be able to give. A tangential and a bit more of a fun question now. So there's a lot of trends that emerge with AI. So for instance, like a lot of people use like this autocut feature that TikTok and CapCut and other platforms have, which is like an AI video editing tool. Sometimes people like make their photos look like a specific form of art. Like there was this one trend of everyone making their pictures look like Ghibli images. So what's one of your favorite AI trends and one of your least favorite AI trends?
Ooh, I mean, I try to stay away from image generation with AI only because I feel like it's a fraught area when it comes to generative AI because there are copyright issues, there are legal challenges. It is a big area, so I tend to avoid any sort of um, playing around with any of that because it just makes me too nervous. I'm not going to know enough. There's certain areas I just don't have enough knowledge in to ensure that I'm doing it with integrity, so I tend to avoid that. Um, Now, I mean, on campus, I will say we have a copyright office that is happy to work with people who have questions about the image generation piece of AI. So we have the experts too on campus that understand this area, but it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I tend to stay away from that generative piece when it comes to. So I don't know trend wise if I had anything particular that's a favorite of mine. What the that I like to look at check out. I mean, I did think the one that was super fun was the where you and it was a couple months ago where you the starter kit one where you
Yeah, the LinkedIn one.
yeah, that one was fun. To look at everybody's examples of that, but I also know that's around the image generation piece, and so yeah, it's a little tricky.
Yeah, I do echo kind of the same sentiment. I think when it comes to AI art, it's so complex, and like I don't even have an answer for how I feel about it either. Um, the starter kit was definitely fun. It was nice to see from that trend how people played around with the prompt, and I think it was a good kind of tester exercise for people to kind of get into that prompt engineering bit of it, which is also a really big piece of generative AI, kind of what you tell it. But I think for me, for trends, this is gonna sound horrible. Um, but it's more so like videos that I watch on Instagram. I'm kind of a big victim on brain rot videos. Oh, this sounds so bad. And then also there's like this orange cat and it's like an orange cat with like so many like muscles and it goes to like it's like different phases of like the orange cat story. Like, oh, this sounds horrible. But like it's an orange cat and sometimes his wife cheats on him. Oh. And then or sometimes he gets married to like Elsa from Frozen. I'm not generating these images myself, but they are an entertaining watch on Instagram.
You just reminded me of the one with the cats where they're diving off the diving board. And then they were doing it like, okay, cats competing in the Olympics. Okay, I mean, I think that was pretty cute. And then there's a horse. I think there's horses competing in swimming in the Olympics or whatever. And they're like, okay, I mean, that's kind of fun. But again, it's that image generation piece that, I mean, it's kind of interesting to look at.
Yeah, I'd say just definitely interesting to look at, but guilty pleasures that pop up on my Instagram sometimes. So
Yeah. I think my favorite though would have to be the AI voice reading out Reddit stories, the AITA stories from Reddit.
that's good too.
I watch them on YouTube Shorts. So I think I mostly have fun questions left. So here's another one. What's one myth about AI that you'd like to debunk for high school listeners?
Maybe like, it's not a fun answer, but maybe the accuracy, that factual piece of AI, that we have to understand that regardless of how good the models are, I mean, even some of the best models can still fabricate information. And so we still have to be checking it. You can say, well, I'm not using the free version of ChatGPT. I'm using the paid version. It's much better. You can say that, but you still have to check it. It is still not always accurate. It is still a generative AI piece where, it is not always based in fact. And so you must check what it's produced. And that's a serious one.
I don't really know how to answer this in a fun way. I think you're right. It can get serious. I'd say,
Oh, I know one. Oh, and you can maybe echo this. Okay, yeah. That AI is only for computer science or engineering people,
oh yeah, that's a good one.
right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
no. Every industry uses AI, and it's such an interesting tool to be implemented across all things. Like, for example, I know healthcare is using it to some really amazing, really amazing ways. Even in music and video production, AI can automate it a few things now. Um, I've been on I've been on a DJ side quest recently, right? For some reason I'm so passionate about trying to become a DJ. But and there was I don't have a turntable yet, but on your iPad, you can get an app that helps you become a DJ. And there's a AI feature.
People in the library.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna see me there literally in 10 minutes.
In the video editing suites, we have DJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. If anyone wants to become a DJ, oh my gosh, come to UCalgary. And you'll see me there in 10 minutes, everybody. If you're ready to party, I will be there. Okay, sorry.
I'll be dancing there.
Perfect.
I'll bring a disco ball.
Perfect.
So you should know that. You
Really?
Adrian, I'm sure. Yeah, we have 2 turntables.
Oh my gosh. Or
That
that
DJs on this podcast.
it's the Orange Cat DJ AI remix.
We'll go back to Big Fun Days, your world famous DJ. He's like, this is where it all started.
I'm beside Zed. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just got really excited now. But yeah, I guess if you're trying to DJ, there's some AI features now that are being implemented in apps that kind of make those transitions easier. I think in my own fields, in kind of sustainability and business and even anthropology, there's a piece now that's coming out especially with the paper writing piece, or maybe project working on projects and stuff like that. So oh sorry, the DJ thing really it's that's all I could think about now. AI DJ. Sorry.
It is super true. I'm you talking about the music side. At CAIELI, we have our music librarian who offers sessions on using AI in music. Now, he's going to underpin that again with integrity throughout it, right, to make sure that you're using it the right way. But he has sessions like that that we ran through CAIELI that we've had students take last year. So there'll be more of that in the fall as well. And then, even in languages, languages are heavy into understanding how AI can assist in the learning process with learning languages, right? So, in the humanities area, in, healthcare, like Rica said, all these other areas, AI is active and happening, and there's researchers working, and there's faculty on this campus who are producing in these areas and are very knowledgeable. So I think this myth that, one myth I would say is that it's only for computer science or only engineering. No way. You can build things and you can make stuff happen in your discipline.
Yeah, and to echo that, there's also so many amazing student groups on campus too. There's the AI club. Shout out to them. And then also there's a women in AI and machine learning group too. And I'd also to kind of echo that piece again about even in languages, AI is its own language. It is trained with its own languages too. So if you kind of see it in that lens, you are learning a new language as well.
I think I've taken up quite a bit of your time. I'll end with one fun question. And yeah, so if CAIELI were to have a mascot representing AI ethics, what would it be and why?
Would have to be a dino for sure. It had to be a dinosaur of some kind, but be a dinosaur that had AI supports, integrity leads. So the dino would be wearing a shirt that says that, right? So AI can support us, but integrity leads us.
I want that on the t-shirt right now.
T-shirt, okay. You'll make some t-shirts with that on it. But I feel like the dino would be wearing that t-shirt. You walk around going, oh, AI supports, integrity leads. That's awesome.
That is such a cool sentence.
Yeah, it can support us, but we're always leading with integrity and leading with our ethical lens when it comes to.
The design part of me is thinking that quote, but it's the dino with a clear box on its stomach, so that it's kind of like a lens, and then it's the quote inside. So you look internally, and it's inquisitive kind of.
That is so cool. Maybe that's something for the 3D printers in Schulich.
Or the makerspace.
Or the makerspacers. Shout out to the makerspaces.
That's right.
And he can sew in there.
We can sew. You can use Cricut. You can do some vinyl cutting in there. You can do some all kinds of carving in there. We have a carving in there. I mean, what does this library not offer you? I'm telling you, like, we have everything here.
The mascot making can get started right now. After Rica's DJ session, of course.
It's going to happen at the same time.
Listening to you DJ, watching the cats go around. We just need someone to design a cat spray. And then you could be sewing the dinosaur. And we have an embroidery machine in there too. We could embroider this on the dinosaur. Oh, yeah.
The amount I've learned, even as a current student at the university, is so incredible to me. There's so many different offices and so many different resources.
I just need to know that students that come here use the resources that are being offered. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
There are so many between the Student Success Center, wellness, the library, and CAIELI. I mean, there are so many services that are here to help you succeed. And I just wish more students would put those services to work for themselves. The Writing Center within the Student Success Center. I mean, it's all there. And they'll even be, let me tell you this, in the fall, they'll even be drop-in AI writing help because there is a new writing tutor starting here very shortly that has been specifically hired and is very well trained and fluent in AI writing. And so they will be doing drop-in writing help once a week at CAIELI through that partnership with the Student Success Center. So you can go in there and be like, I need some assistance with writing and using AI, and this person will be able to answer that.
I am so excited to get my badges. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights. There's so many resources that even I didn't know about, and I'm sure future students would be so excited to hear about all of this. So thank you for joining me this morning, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Keep doing all the amazing work that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Season 10 of the Choose UCalgary podcast. Remember to follow us on Instagram at choose.ucalgary and Facebook at UCalgaryFS to stay up to date on all things UCalgary for future students. DM if you have any questions and stay tuned for the next episode. A huge shout out to Schulich Soundstage, a student-led music club right here on campus, for producing the amazing music you've heard throughout this episode. It's just one example of the incredible creativity and talent you'll find at UCalgary.